repeat too. So we are going to be drawing Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Now Oswald, he is going to start off with a basic geometric shape, all of our characters do, and he starts off with the circle. But as you pick up the pencils, you notice that something's missing on the end and eraser. And that's because we'll be lightly sketching out our character. Lines that we do want to keep on him, we'll go back and darken those lines in. That way all the other lines are going to start to fade away in the background. So right there on the center page, you can sketch out a circle, I'd say about the size of an orange. I'm going to sketch out my circle towards the right-hand corner of my page, just so I have enough room for his long rabbit ears. But you've got a lot more room on your paper than I do on mine. So just really lightly sketching this out, and just using that whole entire arm to sketch this out as well. Notice I've got lots and lots of circle lines in here. And that's when we look for our rough sketch drawing. Just keeping this really light loose. This is just your foundation shape. So I promise to let you know getting into the darkening in part stuff we really want to keep for our rabbit. Well, within our circle, we'll also add in some construction lines. And these construction lines are going to help us anchor down the features of his face. Now he's not going to look straight ahead of us on profile. It's going to be what we call a 3/4 angle. So instead of drawing a line right down the middle of this circle, I'm going to draw on a stretched out backwards C. So I'm giving this construction line a bend to it, like you're cutting out a crescent moon right outside of that circle. And about halfway inside of our circle, I'm going to add another curved construction line, and this one's going to curve up on our circle. So this way it looks like you have more of a beach ball sitting on your page instead of a flat cookie-like shape. Well, now that we've got a foundation in place, we can start to add in some details for him. And a great anchoring spot for a character is our nose. And his nose happens to be an oval shape for us. Just coming right here to our plus sign, I'm just going to lightly sketch out an oval. And you can also push this right outside of that original circle as well. This is one of the only features that are actually going to stick outside of our circle shape too. Now this is something that we want to keep and go back and darken in. And let's notice this little flat up here at the top. So I'm just going to flatten out the oval up here at the top. But I'm going to keep the roundness over here on the sides. So this looks more like a little jelly bean shape here for him. Just going back just to darken that up. We'll give him a big smile. And for his smile, we're going to add in his smile line to find out where it ends. So I'm going to come back over here towards our construction line over here on the left, and I'm going to add in a rainbow shape. And that's going to be his smile line. And we get those too. At the end of your smile, when you smile, you get the little smile lines. And for where his smile is going to sit down here, over here on the right side, halfway in between the nose and the bottom of my circle, I'm just going to add in just a little point there, just to give myself a little marker. And I'm just going to connect this smile line all the way over towards that point, just by adding in a letter U shape. So I'm just stretching it out here, just from one side to the other for him. Well, he likes to smile with his mouth open. I'm going to open up his mouth. I'm just going to add in another letter U shape right underneath this smile line. Just going to start over here on the side of his smile line, and just curving it down towards the bottom part of the circle. And just curving it right back over towards the other side of this line. I'm just going back just to darken that in here for him. And with this mouth open, we'll be able to see his lower lip. And for that, just going to be another letter U shape right underneath our second one here. And also keeping this inside that circle here as well. With his mouth open, we'll also be able to see his tongue. And for his tongue, it's just going to be two small hills that just sit here at the bottom. Just going to add in just one little hill and two little hills. With such a big smile, his cheeks are getting pushed up pretty high on either side of his face. I don't really see one part of his cheek over here on the left side. So coming right up above his smile line, I'm going to add in another upside down letter U right on top of that. I'm also pushing this all the way over towards the side of our circle. You can think of this as that be an extension of that smile line. It's just a little bigger there for him. When you reach the side of your circle, pick out your favorite line and just darken this down towards his lower lip just to close it off. So this looks like a sideways letter J, or even a hook on the side of his face there. I could also close off the bottom half of our circle here as well, just from his nose down towards that lower lip, just picking out your favorite line here along the way. And with all this in place, believe it or not, you've already created the bottom half of Oswald. So how are our drawings turning out so far? Not too bad. You might see some resemblance to Mickey Mouse just a little bit. We'll start to move up to the most expressive part of any character, and that's going to be his eyes. Now his eyes are just going to be some oval shapes for us. And for where they're going to sit, they're just going to sit right up here on our construction line on either side. So hopping over here on the right side, I'm just going to lightly sketch out an oval here for that eye. I'm coming over here on the right side because he is sitting in this, or left side, since he's sitting in that 3/4 angle, anything that's over here on the left is going to look larger than over here on the right side. Just coming right up here on that construction line, and right up above his smile, I'm just going to sketch out a taller and wider oval, just because we see more of it. Just really light and loose here for him. Now Oswald has what we like to call pie eyes. Mickey had this too when he was first created in 1928, and you can even check out his old school pie eyes if you go over to Mickey's Fun Wheel in the Paradise Pier area. But for these pie eyes, I'm just going to add in a little letter V cutout, just here on the side of his eye. And back then that was meant to be a little highlight for his eye. And just doing the same thing over here on the right side. I will come back and just darken up the rest of his eye, anything that's not covered by that little pie. So I'm just going to come back and just darken up the top and the sides of the oval here for him. I will also go back and make sure that these eyes are the darkest part of our drawing. This is where all the attention and focus goes to, is right inside those eyes. So I'm just making sure that they're extra dark here for him. It also really helps for characters that don't talk, just like Oswald, like Dumbo and Dopey, and even Tinkerbell too. But Oswald will be getting a voice in the new Epic Mickey 2 game, so you can check out his voice then. Just making sure that those eyes are nice and dark there for him. With his eyes in place, we can add in what we like to call a mask. Mickey has this as well, and his is a letter M shape, and Oswald's mask is a letter M shape up there at the top next to me. So I'm just going to come up here to the top of our circle, and right here where our circle and our construction line meet, I'm just going to add just a little letter B. So this would be the middle part of his mask, if we were looking at it straight on. Well, from that letter V, I'm just going to curve it up towards the top of the circle and just pushing it away from his eyes, just dropping it right back down towards that cheek line here for him. So you're creating that big arch there for him. Just go back just to darken that in. With this mask in place, we can go back and just darken up the rest of our circle, just here from his nose all the way over towards his cheek on the left side. So just closing off up here at the top, making sure that it's connecting to that mask up there at the top for us as well. Now we're missing something pretty important for a rabbit, his ears. From where his ears sit, they sit about a 45-degree angle from the middle of his face. So I'm going to come right back here to where our two construction lines meet here in the middle, or on the side there for him. And I'm just going to add in just a diagonal line right on top of his cheek. And I'm going to extend this out pretty long here, just to give him these long rabbit ears. But again, right here at that mark, or right where those two construction lines meet, and right up above that left eye is where his other ear is going to sit. Just going to stretch out this line here, just a little bit taller there for him. And you can make these rabbit ears be as long as you like. Now for what these rabbit ears look like, they kind of look like the ends of like fan blades, or you can also think of them as baseball bats because they're wider at the top and they get a little bit thinner when you get closer towards his head. So here at the end of my mark here, I'm just going to add in just a stretched out letter C. So this is going to be the widest part of his ear. From that, I'm just going to add in just a curved line that gets just a little closer towards his head as I go. Just darkening that up here for him. I'm just doing the same thing over here on the side, just getting a little bit thinner as I get back closer towards his head. Not too thin though. Just going back just to darken that ear in. I'm just doing the same thing here at the top. So this time I'll add in a stretched out rainbow shape here. I'll bring it down just a tiny bit so you can see this here a little bit more. I'm just adding in just a curved line that curves back a little bit closer towards his head as I go. Now with his ears in place, you can start to go back and just darken up any of those lines that might have faded away throughout a little drawing process. But the last step an artist really needs to make is a signature. And you can sign your name wherever you feel it fits best. But after you're all done, you have just created your very own Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So, how did we do? Well, at least you're being honest. Did you have fun? Yeah. That's the most important part about drawing, is having fun anyway. Well, I would love to see each and every one of your drawings. So on the count of 3, go and show me how you all did. So don't